Enzo Maresca prepares to take on his second title-winning Italian manager. With inside of a week, we will discuss our newest signing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel today for the newest episode of the Chelsea Countdown. This time for our final game of pre-season. This time back in our beloved Stamford Bridge, taking on the Italian champions, Inter Milan. This has had probably a little bit of salt put on this match after our recent business being dealt with Inter. Obviously, as we know, they sold us Romelu Lukaku back in 2021. That was a shambles, and they profited massively from that, and then they just got him back on loan within a year. And then they refused to pay the fee for him to get him back a year after that. They made it to a Champions League final whilst we faltered. So, right now, yeah, we probably have a pretty good reason to be mad at Inter Milan. That being said, I do massively respect them as a club. When I went to visit the San Siro, as possibly some of you have seen, I did get myself an Inter Milan shirt because, well, frankly, it's just a great kit. But as a club, I do have a bit of respect for them. As a team, I have respect for them. Massive respect for their manager, Simone Inzaghi. I think he's a fantastic manager. We will look at how Maresca is going to set up and how we need to beat this guy. However, before we get into that, we need to talk about this. Pedro Neto to Chelsea. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I love this. This is the big thing I love about our ownership. Say what you will about their decisions and about how they're running this club. I agree with most of it. I think they're majoritarily, I think they're idiots. But the one thing you cannot deny, they get business done. And we literally got the story of this, that were looking to sign Pedro Neto, broken. And then within like an hour, we got the here we go. So we're signing Pedro Neto for a reported 60 million euros with a further 3 mil in add-ons. And I have to say, I think this is a really good signing. He's a very ambidextrous player. He's very good with both his left foot and his right foot. He can play on both the wings, right and left, even number 10 if necessary. He is an incredibly good dribbler. He's an incredibly quick player. And his main aspect is that he is a brilliant assister. He got, I think, joint 3rd or 4th most assists in the league last year with 9. But yeah, this looks like a brilliant signing for us. Yeah, I have to say, personally, I'm very happy. Where do I see him? I do believe he is a first team signing. Absolutely, I believe he is a first team signing. He is a Premier League quality player who pretty much anybody in the Premier League would be lucky to have. Like, I would imagine, like, obviously, I know there's plenty of Man United fans that after their first choice of Michael Olise didn't materialise, they wanted to sign Pedro Neto. I know, obviously, Spurs were linked with signing him. A lot of Arsenal fans said they'd love to have him as a backup for Bukayo Saka. I'm sure Man City would love him. Liverpool, if they were to sell Mo Salah, would take him in a day. But Pedro Neto is coming to Chelsea. Now, I do believe he's a first-team player, and I do believe he plays on the left. Now, that could be a bit strange because he played a lot of his time at Wolves on the right, but he did also play quite a lot of time on the left. As I mentioned earlier, he's very ambidextrous on which side he plays. I can see him on the left for us, which I think is his better position. Neto is not exactly a goal scorer, he is a goal creator. And with a left-footed player on the left, that gives him greater ability to be able to cross the ball into the box with his left foot, which is what he is best at. He is best at creating chances for others. Now, if we have someone on the end of that, whether that be Palmer or Jackson, possibly Samu, maybe Osimhen, I don't know. We'll wait and find out with that one. But anyway, if we have someone, just anyone, on the end of those balls, then he is going to rack up so many assists. Neto is a genuinely brilliant signing. It is 110% the best signing we've made this summer so far. Cannot wait to see Pedro Neto in a Chelsea shirt. It's going to be brilliant. With that being said, I am going to get into the lineup as we start. In goal with Philip Jorgensen. Now, we are still kind of in the dark about who Maresca's number 1 is. We do not yet know whether it's going to be Robert Sanchez or Philip Jorgensen. I think this game is going to tell us who that is. This game is the game where Enzo Maresca decides his starting 11. He has all players available to him. He has Cole Palmer and Marc Cucurella both at his disposal. He has every player because no one's injured. The only player he will not have at his disposal for his starting 11 when we get to the opening day is Reece James because of his suspension. But I think that's a bit regardless because we know Reece James is going to start anyway. This is where he pinpoints his starting 11. And I think he is going to pick Philip Jorgensen. Philip Jorgensen is a vastly superior goalkeeper playing with his feet than Robert Sanchez. That is what we heard throughout the entire summer, that Maresca's goalkeeper needs to be able to play with his feet. Philip Jorgensen can do that. We know he can do that. We watched the Madrid game. He is more than capable of playing with his feet, whether that's his short passing, his long passing, just even his shot stopping with his feet is vastly superior to Sanchez. Like, he is just a better ball playing goalkeeper than Sanchez. We do still need to check what his shot stopping is like. We haven't seen it yet. He played the full game versus Real Madrid, but apart from the 2 goals, he didn't have any difficult shots to save. And the Club America game, he had nothing to save. If he plays this game, he'll have a lot more to do. Because obviously, as we know, Inter Milan play with a 2-man strike force. They play with obviously Marcus Thuram and captain Lautaro Martinez. Both very dangerous in the box. Obviously, Lautaro is the bigger danger man, as we know, but Marcus Thuram cannot be underestimated. So we will see what Jorgensen's shot stopping like, I'm sure of it, in this game. However, he is going to need a lot more help from his backline than he did in that Madrid game. And I'm going to give them all a second chance here. So I'm starting the same lineup. Reece James, Levi Colwill, Benoit Badiashile, and Malo Gusto. Now, I don't particularly believe Malo Gusto and Benoit Badiashile especially played well against Madrid. I think Gusto was making a couple mistakes that he could have prevented. Badiashile was definitely making mistakes that could have been prevented. I think both of those goals are on his head. Especially that second one by Brahim Diaz when he just jogs to the line instead of running to just clear it off the line. If that was Thiago Silva, he would have been sprinting straight down to that goal to stop it. Badiashile should be doing that. I'm going to give him a second chance. Now, personally, I don't believe Badiashile should be starting. I think Levi Colwill should be the starting left-sided centre-back, whether he plays as left-sided or he plays as the centre-back. That should be his. And we should be playing Wesley Fofana. Now, granted, Wesley Fofana has not looked the same player he was before he was injured. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on that based on the fact that he has missed an entire year of football. He needs to sharpen up and quick. With that being said, we move into my midfield, which is Romeo Lavia, Enzo Fernandez, and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Now, at the minute, our starting centre midfielder, our first choice, is Romeo Lavia, because he has had a fantastic preseason under Maresca. He also, and I completely forgot about this until quite recently, he worked with Maresca at Man City, because obviously Lavia is from the Man City Academy. I was quite perplexed that he had actually taken ridiculously well to the system, and then I was reminded that he played for Maresca in the Man City Youth Academy, same as Cole Palmer. Alongside him is Enzo Fernandez. We have heard all summer the big plans for Enzo Fernandez, and I think Maresca has big plans for him. I don't believe he's going to put Moises Caicedo in there yet, because I don't believe he's fully fit yet. I believe he could be in line to start versus Man City, but I don't believe he's going to start this game. And Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, as we know, he is Maresca's guy. He is his man. So chances are he's going to start this game. Whether he'll start come the first game of the season, I don't know. It is all very likely that we see Christopher Nkunku playing that more advanced 8/10 role with an actual striker up front. With that being said, the front line I do believe will consist of Raheem Sterling, Noni Madueke, and Christopher Nkunku. I don't believe Cole Palmer's going to start this game. He will play this game, but I do not believe he will start. And Madueke, considering he's had a pretty solid preseason, more than earned the right to start this game. Raheem Sterling, well, obviously, there have now come out with links that he's been linked to Juventus. If this materializes into anything, I would take it. I said a little while ago, if Sterling has the opportunity to leave, I would 100% take it. I don't think he's got it anymore. I don't think he's got it. I don't know what it is, but his decision making is just getting consistently bad. He's got that 100% wow factor moment in him. We've seen it pretty much every time he plays Man City for some reason. Like, whenever he plays Man City, he's always good, and then he'll occasionally, against a non-Man City team, have a decent performance. But you cannot do it consistently. We need consistency in a team. That was the problem last year. Our problem, literally, you look back at it, our problem with consistency, I think there were only, 2 periods last season where we lost back-to-back games, which was the Man United and Everton games, and I want to say the Liverpool and Wolves game. Our problem was consistency. We go from pushing Man City to the brink of nearly losing that game, and then go to getting absolutely slapped up by Newcastle a week, like 2 weeks later. Our problem last season was consistency. We cannot play consistently. And Raheem Sterling is the perfect embodiment of that, because he cannot play consistently. So if Raheem Sterling is to be sold, if it's Juventus, I take it 100%. I do want to talk about some of the things we could see coming off the bench of this game. I talked about Cole Palmer already. Marc Cucurella is also someone that I think will come off the bench for this. We have seen with the left back in Malo Gusto being inverted into midfield that it looks very likely the left back is going to be the one inverting in Maresca's system. And as we know, that's Marc Cucurella, which is perfect. We saw Cucurella inverting under Pochettino and it looked brilliant. So Cucurella 100% will be a perfect addition for that. He will probably come off the bench. I believe we'll probably see Wes Fofana come off the bench as well. We'll definitely see Moises Caicedo come off the bench. Possibly someone like Mark Guiu, maybe Mikhailo Mudryk as well. For the record, I don't believe Pedro Neto nor Samu Omorodion will be available for this game. With their signings being so recent, I don't believe they'll be in the squad for this. I do think there's a very real possibility we see them brought out at half-time to be presented to the Stamford Bridge crowd. That's very likely, which would be great to see. Now, this should be a game that's very interesting. As we know, Pep Guardiola has beaten Simone Inzaghi before in the Champions League final. If Enzo Maresca knows how Pep Guardiola plays, he should be able to work him out. Now, Pep has always struggled playing against a back three system. He struggled against it with Tuchel, as we know, in the Champions League final, and he wasn't perfect versus Inzaghi, so that is a thing. Obviously, their back three, I believe, consists of Bastoni, De Vrij, and Pavard, which is a pretty tough back five. They've obviously got Barella and Dumfries going down the wings. They've got, a midfield of Calhanoglu, who's an incredibly good player. You've got Barella and you've got Mkhitaryan. They're both pretty strong players. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the front two of Lautaro and Thuram. This is a dangerous team, a very dangerous team. And this is going to be the massive acid test for our defence. You are not going to get a more dangerous strike force than Lautaro and Thuram. If they can deal with them, we should be fine. If they can't, we may have problems. If our centre-backs don't find form / return in good form, then it may be something we need to look to solve before the end of the window. As for our own strike force, I'm playing Nkunku there because I don't believe Maresca is going to start Guiu. I think he started him versus Madrid because it's Madrid and he's a Catalan, so I think he was probably banking on him being up for that fight. But I don't believe he'll be trusting him to carry the same drive in this one. As I mentioned earlier, Samu, I don't believe will be signed in time to be a part of that squad. Jackson, as far as we're aware, has not returned to fitness yet to be able to play this game. Hopefully he's back for the Man City game. There is obviously the rumour surrounding Osimhen, and I believe, which is something my dad said, and I agree with this, with Osimhen, it seems like we're going to go into the season with Samu and Jackson as our number 9s and see where we are. If we need that striker in there, they'll go for Osimhen because it allows them to get rid of Lukaku then. If we don't, and we're fair and fine with Samu and Jackson, they'll probably just not go for Osimhen. They're still going to try and offload Lukaku. The only reason at that point they go for Osimhen is just to get rid of Lukaku. I personally believe we should be going for Osimhen because a front three of Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, and Victor Osimhen is dangerous. With that being said, I will give my score prediction for this game. I don't know. To be perfectly honest, we could win, we could lose. Inter also start their season pretty soon, so it also depends on what team they're going to field. Like, they could field an incredibly B-list team to make sure they're not getting any injuries before the season starts. They could field their first 11 and completely smack us. Shot in the dark. 2-2. Why not? I'll say it again. I said it for the Madrid game. I was nearly right on that one. I'll say 2-2 again. So, yeah, like, this is a dangerous team. Inzaghi is an incredibly good manager. So, this would be a really good test for Enzo. If he can beat him with a strong team, then we're in business. So, that is my starting 11 for this game. Let me know in the comments what you would pick as your starting 11. Let me know what you think the score prediction is going to be, and let me know what you think about the signing of Pedro Neto. So, with that being said, as always, I am the Crimson Wolf, the reddest Chelsea fan on the internet. I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope we go and get a win. I will be at Stamford Bridge for this game, so it will be fantastic to watch. With that being said, hope to see you all there, and I hope you all enjoy the game. So, good luck with it.